So, do you guys ever experience a strange fear of dying? This has been something that I only started to experience like rather recently. By that I mean over the course of 2021. I started to have this thing where any physiological sensation I had, be it from eating, running really far, or any other kind of physical exertion really, uh, any physiological sensation I had would lead me to this immediate feeling or belief that I was dying or about to die. And it was really unpleasant. I hated this. Now, thankfully, I don't really experience that anymore. Uh, the way I got over that was just by experiencing it so many times that eventually I could, with most, like a mostly certain conscience, say, okay, most likely this is not going to happen. Like, look at all the other times I felt like this was going to happen and it didn't happen. I thought I was going to die, and that's not where we went. Um, so I've mostly tuned myself out of this just by telling myself like, hey, let's look at the evidence here so many times. But sometimes sometimes this still creeps up on me. And it'll be because of like weird stuff. Like for example, I have to put hydrocortisone cream on my face every single day in order to keep my face from like chipping and looking really nasty. Um, people with eczema know what I'm talking about, um, or psoriasis or anything like that. Uh, and so I have to do that, right? But it has a really nasty smell to it where if I'm drinking water or eating something, like I can smell it so well that like whatever I'm eating or smelling will kind of taste like it. And then I'll be convinced that I got some in my mouth and that it's going to kill me, even though I'm pretty sure it's not even like dangerous to ingest. I'll just like suddenly think that. Um, and I'll freak out. Now, for the most part, this doesn't happen anymore either because I've gotten attuned to like putting it on my face so many times it's not going to freak me out. Um, but then, like, I'll go to brush my teeth and wash my mouth out. And if brushing my teeth didn't scare me, like if I didn't have a fear of, oh, I'm about to swallow this toothpaste and that's going to kill me, I'll get to the mouthwash part, and the entire time I will be painstakingly thinking of uh, literally swallowing all of the mouthwash that I just put in my mouth. And that'll be something I'm really fixating on. I'll be like, okay, don't swallow the mouthwash. Don't swallow the mouthwash. And then it'll make me like not want to brush my teeth because I just don't want to be thinking of that the entire time. Like, it's stuff like this. They're like constants in my life, right? Um, it used to be that I only got anxiety about going outside and socializing. You know, I've had social anxiety my entire life. When I was a kid, never wanted to interact with strangers, never wanted to meet new people, never wanted to go outside in public places, large crowds, and so on. Um, I just wanted to keep to myself pretty much. And then, that carried on to throughout adulthood. I started going to more places, having more adventures, and getting out of my shell and shedding some of that introversion. Um, but I still, to some extent have uh, anxiety about other people or going out, you know. But now it seems like the generalized anxiety, something that for the most part I didn't have throughout the course of my life, is far, far worse. And I'll experience it about all these little things, you know. Um, Fears of death that I end up finding. in the most mundane of things. I'll be very, very careful and show a lot of attention to detail and cautiousness toward, like, when I'm in the shower, for example. Gotta move graciously, or else I could slip and die, you know? Stuff like that, you know? I mean, thankfully, I've always had pretty gracious, cautious, like precise movements. I've never been a clumsy person, so that's not even a thing I really have to worry about. So I wouldn't even file that in the anxiety category. But I think it just goes to show, or the fact that I focus on that stuff, I wouldn't put down as a sign of anxiety. But it just goes to show like how painstakingly conscientious I can be about certain things, right? Like anybody who knows me or lives with me sees me paying attention to all these minor details, like in everything, to an obsessive extent. I have to have everything organized a certain way. I have to do everything a certain way. It's annoying and it's difficult to live with, but it's also like the only way of life that I know. I don't know how to live any other way. So yeah,